guys, what's up? Helena here. I just wanted to do a video this week to kind of do something that I used to do, which was show my training and also discuss kind of a topic that surrounds training and that kind of thing. So this week I'm going to be showing you my squats and my deadlifts, and yeah, so recently I started doing my volume training again, so I just kind of wanted to show you what I've been up to and which kind of variations from the squats and the deadlifts I have been doing. And I also want to discuss the topic of how often you should squat or deadlift in a week, and how often do I do it, and what's my experience of and my opinion of how often someone should squat in a week and deadlift. So for my routine, I squat twice a week and I deadlift twice a week. Usually the deadlifts, once they'll be quite full on and quite hard, and then the other one will be more volume or something like that, or it will be a slight variation. Yeah, I find that really it's a question of how often can you fit training into your week. For me, to train 4 times a week is absolutely perfect because I like to have a break in between. So usually I would do Monday, Tuesday, break on Wednesday, and then have Thursday and Friday also in training. For me that's important because at the weekend I tend to be quite busy, perhaps I'm travelling, and if I knew I had to fit in a programmed day of training on the weekend, I might not get it done, and then obviously that would be annoying. So I spoke with my coach and we have said that doing 4 days a week would be most optimal for me. So the amount that you train is really just personal, and also when I get to Wednesday, I'm really glad for my rest day. So because also when you work full time as well, you have to kind of try and fit it in. I think perhaps if I didn't work full time, I wouldn't be as tired. Maybe I would do Monday through to Friday, but it works for 4 days a week for me. So I think first of all, a question of how often do you squat and deadlift, you need to kind of consider how often can you train in a week. And I'm also going to focus on that question from a powerlifting perspective, of course, because I'm a powerlifter. I'm doing jazz hands at the moment, I don't know. And yeah, I think that's where my opinion is most valid, so I will do that. I find that squatting and deadlifting twice a week is a good amount to reapply the stimulus. So I think if you only do it once a week, you're not really, you're going to get muscle growth and you're going to get an effect from training, but I think there's definitely room in the week to reapply that stimulus and be able to recover. So it's about how well your body can recover, and also applying enough stimulus so you're getting the maximal growth and response from your muscles. So I find that minimum twice a week is good, and I would say that for anyone starting powerlifting as well, twice a week is also a good place to start. I think doing it once is you could just do it once, but twice is definitely, I think, the minimum that you should do. And certainly when I started out, I definitely squatted twice a week and deadlifted once. And I would say deadlift once because deadlifting, out of the 3 disciplines, squat, bench, deadlift, deadlifting is known to be the most taxing on the body and the most taxing for the central nervous system, and in order for you to recover. So I know when I started, I did deadlifts once per week, and then I would do a variation, so like Romanian deadlifts, rack pulls, something like that. So, yeah. So I think regardless of who your coach is, most powerlifters do agree that deadlifting once or twice a week is optimal, and any more will be taxing your body quite a bit, and also reducing your ability and your power for squats potentially, and other exercises. So definitely deadlifting once or twice max. So most people in fitness, whether you're a powerlifter, a bodybuilder, and even an Olympic athlete, most people do have other jobs and do have full-time jobs. So I think that's the thing, it is a question of how often can you go to training and how often can you fit it in. Yeah, so my conclusion is, if you are a beginner in powerlifting, and if you've had, say, up to about 8 years experience minimum, definitely 2 times per week is the magic number. Obviously you can try and experiment with other things. I'm not saying if you do any more you're gonna be fucked or you're not gonna be able to recover or anything like that. However, I will say that when you get to about 8 to 10 years experience, more than that, your gains and your 1 rep maxes, they're going to start to get harder to achieve. So I'm going to draw a little graph for you. Just one sec. I've got a piece of paper here. So if you have just like a standard graph with time on the bottom and then your 1 rep max, say, on the side, like so, it is pretty much going to go like so. So if you start off powerlifting, you might do a 30 kilo, say if you're a woman, you might do a 30 kilo 1 rep max for squats, let's say. And then 2 months later, you might get 60 kilo. And you'll find that when you start off, obviously you'll increase your 1 rep maxes quickly. So basically what I'm trying to say is, as you go through powerlifting, you spend more time powerlifting, the difference between your old 1 rep max and your current 1 rep max, I can hardly say that, it gets shorter each time. So you might have a big gap between your previous 1 rep max and your current 1 rep max if you just start. So I've got there, so 30 kilos there, and then 60 kilos just a few months later. Then maybe 3 months after that, you might get an 80 kilo PB, and you'll make big jumps. And then it's obvious, you know, it's not rocket science. And then obviously the longer you spend, you're really looking for those slight intricacies to improve your training. So I would say when you get to that point and you've spent quite a long time in powerlifting, probably minimum 8 to 10 years, you might be looking for something different and some extra training tweaks, some little small tweaks in your training that really are going to give you that difference on the platform, because ultimately that's what you want. You just want to be able to get the best squat, bench or deadlift on that platform. So then you might be looking to programs like Smolov. There's other programs, for example, where you train 3 days per week, doing squats 3 times per week. Mad Cow, they do three times per week. I actually would say that to do squats 3 times a week also would be fine. It just depends. For me, that would be a little too much because I only train 4 days a week. And I know Tamara Thompson, she's actually current under 63 champion in Germany, and she trains only 3 times per week. So I think the thing is, you do have to look for the slight adjustments in your training and be very consistent when you start to get very good. But actually, I've not even had that experience yet. So I've only been powerlifting for 3 years. So I'm just going along on that journey and just gonna see how, when I have spent that long in powerlifting, how that does affect my training, and just to see whether I can get away with actually reducing the number of days, because my muscles are just so used to the training. So yeah. So yeah, I briefly touched on the Smolov training plan. The thing is, I don't want to go into specific details too much about these actual training programs. I'm just kind of mentioning them for the frequency that they say you should squat or deadlift or whatever. Smolov is just a squat program, and the Smolov program has you squatting 4 times per week, and I think that's mental. I've looked at it and it seems mental, and it's not something I would want to do. It's quite hardcore, and I think it's something that really only an experienced powerlifter would really attempt, because your muscles and your body have to be prepared and have to be ready for that crazy shit. So yeah. Okay, so I hope everybody's found that a little bit useful. I think 2 is the magic number, but I think it depends on what you can fit in to your week. It can be hard because obviously we have got full-time jobs, and even Olympic athletes do, so it can be hard. But yeah, just something you've got to balance. And yeah. So here is my squats and deadlifts training from this week. I've only included one of my deadlifts sessions from this week because I didn't remember to film the other ones. So yeah, enjoy.
So last week was a deload week for me, as I'm doing 2 weeks on and 1 week off as a deload. This is 75 kilos, 4 times 10, so the volume has been slightly reduced on this. Here's the second set that I'm going to show you. I'm only going to show 2 sets per session, just so you get the idea. Moving on now to the second squat session of my week. This is 67.5 kilos, so again, like very light for me. 4 sets of 7 with 4 seconds in the down phase. This is just for help with my stability and control. Moving on to the second set now. I'm having a little dance, I don't know why. Yeah, so again, I'm practicing low bar still, as you can see, hence the moving forward, the leaning forward. Yeah. So similar thing here for deadlifts as it was for squats. I'm doing 4 seconds in this phase here, and then explosive straight up. I'm actually raised up there as well, which makes it harder for me. The other deadlifts that I did this week were volume, again like the squat pattern. So this is actually 77.5 kilos, again that's relatively easy. I'm trying to do as much as I can without my belt, to really strengthen my core, and then only when the belt is really necessary will I use the belt.
If anyone's got any questions about any of the topics raised in this YouTube video, it's my work pen, then yeah, definitely ask me in the comments below. Or if you have any like ideas for good things to discuss on powerlifting, or if anybody's thinking, I wonder what her opinion is on this, that and the other, then definitely shoot me a question. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.